the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't wanna fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no. Just wanna make it stop. Maybe it's something in the water, or maybe we just hit the end of the road. Right now it doesn't even matter. It's too late not to let it go.
We're gonna stay in between the beams of light coming at me through my blinds. So hopefully I don't end up blinding myself through this intro. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are back for another weekly vlog. We are back at work, unfortunately. For this week, I want to start trying to reinforce better habits that I have been slowly not taking into consideration of, such as eating well. So this morning I had some eggs, I had some yogurt, I have my Bloom little green drink that I need to down really fast, and I need to start drinking more water and just overall trying to be better eating wise. And then health wise, I also have not been working out very regularly at all. Like in the last 3 weeks, I have worked out one time, and that was last Monday. I need to get back on it. That's personal health goals for the week, and then reading goals. So last night I finished A Curious Beginnings by Deanna Rayburn. This is book 1 of the Veronica Speedwell mystery series. I think there's like 9 of them now. I did enjoy it. I think I ended up giving this 3.75. I finished it last night. It was good, but I'm really curious as the series progresses if it just steadily gets better and better and better. So I just finished that last night, and I need to choose books to read next. So I have 3 books that are currently still on my planned TBR for the month of June. So I have Two Twisted Crowns, I have People We Meet on Vacation, and then I also have A Fragile Enchantment. So these were planned. I need to try to finish them, or I will finish them, goals, by the end of June. So I have those 3, but I went book shopping yesterday. So I went to Barnes, and then I also went to Second & Charles, and I got this new sweatshirt from Second & Charles. It is Gilmore Girls. Let me see, look, it's Stars Hollow. Like, it's got the dragonfly in from Stars Hollow, and I have never seen a Gilmore Girls sweatshirt like anywhere I've been, so I had to pick it up. But I was at Barnes & Noble, and I went to Second & Charles yesterday, and I got some books. So I have Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've never read a book by her before, and this is the Covenant series. I really don't know literally anything about it. The reason I bought it was because it's got purple sprayed edges, and it immediately drew me in. I am a sucker for sprayed edges. I haven't even like cracked this book and broken up the sprayed edges, but I don't know how many books are in this series, and I really don't know much at all about it. But I have this. It's fantasy. It looks like it is a little fantasy romance potentially. And then I saw this actually on Barnes & Noble's website a while ago, and I finally saw it in store, and that is Murder Your Employer. And this is by Rupert Holmes. Never read anything about this book either. The reason why I decided to pick this up was in the very back it had one of the funniest books of the year, and it intrigues me. So we have this book. This next book I've actually seen several times, and I usually see it in Target, and it doesn't have sprayed edges, and like I said earlier, I am a sucker for sprayed edges. And I saw this at Barnes & Noble and decided to pick it up. This is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the Saga of the Unfated book 1, and it's got beautiful blue, like shiny sprayed edges. Again, don't know anything about this one. But we have this. This is the other choice. And then the last choice is because I get to see in, I don't know, like 9 days, Catherine Center is having a meet and greet in my local area. And she's going to, I bought tickets to it, and I'll be getting her new book, Rom-Com. But I saw this and decided to pick it up because I have been wanting to read this, and I have read The Bodyguard from Catherine Center, and I believe I've read, I want to say I've read a couple of the other books. Ooh, gracious. I can't remember. I know I read The Bodyguard though, and I did enjoy it, but I wanted to pick this up so that way I can read it, and that way I've read a couple more of her books before I see her at her meet and greet. Those are the new books. So I have 7 books in front of me, and I really don't know which one I want to read next. I'm honestly leaning toward A Fragile Enchantment, and that is only because I have put this on my TBR probably like 3 times so far since I got it. This is the Owl Crate edition, and it's signed. So nice. This is giving Bridgerton vibes, and I did just finish part 1 of Bridgerton, so I feel like this is going to be a really good choice. So I think this is going to be what I'm going to read next. We're going to read A Fragile Enchantment. So now that we have discussed my plans for the week and also chosen my next book, I am going to get back to work because I have 10 hours that I will be working today. We're going to finish out the day, and hopefully this afternoon I will be going downstairs to work out, maybe going on a walk in a little bit, and hopefully meeting all of the goals that I want for this week. All right, we're doing another check-in. It is now a couple of days later. It is Wednesday. It is 1 p.m. and I'm proud of myself. So on Monday, I did end up doing my workout. Granted, I was miserable. I did not enjoy it. It's the first day back working out for weeks, and I just wasn't having it. But I pushed through. I did it. Glad I did it. And then yesterday, I decided I wanted to try to work out. Let's get my body moving. We'll just say that. Not a workout per se, but getting my body moving on a daily basis. So yesterday afternoon at like 5 p.m., it was almost done with the entire day. I worked all day, barely did anything workout wise, or like I sat in my seat, this seat here, for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So I decided at 5 o'clock, I was gonna do Pilates. So I went on YouTube, I found a 30-minute beginner, no equipment Pilates workout, and did that. Realized very quickly, I know nothing about Pilates. I spent more time getting out of my poses to watch the screen to make sure I was doing it correctly than actually doing it correctly, but we're gonna continue, we'll get better. So I have every day, granted it's only been 2 days, I have worked out. I've done something good. Food wise, I still haven't been the best. So Monday, I ended up having like an ice cream bar for dessert. I had, like a bag of chips today for lunch, like one of the mini bags of chips. So I haven't been horrible, but I haven't like gone out to eat. I haven't had fried food or anything like that. So I have been better, but I could do more. So we're still pressing through. And book-wise, I said that I was going to start reading A Fragile Enchantment, and I've done a poor amount of reading since then. I'm on page 38 in 2 days. So I was hoping to have this done because tomorrow, which is the 13th, God of War, the new Lena Kent book, or the last Lena Kent book in the Legacy of Gods series, I think that's what it's called, but God of Pain comes out tomorrow on Kindle Unlimited, and I will be reading that because I will immediately want to download it and read it. So I was hoping to get done with this today, but it's not looking too good. So if I don't get this done today, then tomorrow I'm going to pick up God of War because there's no way I'm putting that off. And then we'll pick this up once God of War is done. So we're still pressing. I haven't been pressing very far in this book. But I went on Amazon on Monday And I should not have gone on Amazon on Monday because I have a package that I need to share. And I have been going back and forth whether to make this purchase. And I finally decided I'm going to. And I'm hoping it's everything that I thought it was going to be. And we're going to find out. So let's open my wonderful Amazon box so I can show you what I got. So I procured for myself several things. The first of which is this. So yes, and I have looked at these books for a while. So let me explain. This is the Magnolia Parks world up to the most recent book. The only book I have read of the series is Magnolia Parks. I have not read anything else, and I read this on Kindle Unlimited a while ago, and I did enjoy it. I do not honestly remember what I ended up rating it. I want to say I probably rated it like 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. But I have been wanting to continue the series for a while. But the problem is, oh, that is annoying. So there's 2 problems now. So the problem is, the first one is that I don't really care for these covers. I really wanted to buy the original covers, which I can find on UK's Amazon, but they're like $100 or more for the 4 books. And I just don't know if I can buy that. I don't know if I can swallow that amount of money, but I might end up putting it on my Christmas list and doing that instead, because I feel like that is a more appropriate Christmas gift than just I want to get more books type thing. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 1 is I don't really care for these covers. I like the originals better. The second issue that I have right now is that, do you see this? This book is not the same height as anything else. This has got a little bit of a lip. It is slightly taller. Is that annoying to anybody else? Because it is to me. Okay, so that is upsetting. I'm wondering, maybe this weekend I'll go to not Amazon. I'll go to, this is also a different publisher. Did the publisher change? This is an imprint. So this one has Dutton on the end, whereas the other ones are Orion. And on the back of this book, it has, what is this called? An imprint. So maybe that's why the problem is. This is an imprint from Penguin House, but this one is Orion. So now I need to take a trip to Barnes because I need to know if this book has a different copy, because if so, I will be returning this one and buying the other one, because I do not like that it is a different size. And I'm wondering if it's a different color, because this is gold and the other ones are not like, they're not like that. Research will be had because I have questions. But so I went ahead and bought the Magnolia Park universe because I wanted to reread Magnolia Parks, and then I wanted to continue with Daisy Hates, and then, you know, kind of do the order that they're supposed to be in. So that is what we're going to be doing. I gotta put these in order. I think it's The Long Way Home and then The Great Undoing. Is that the order? Let me see the order. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be picking up the Magnolia Park series again at some point in the near future, because I really want to read this because I want to be part of the Jessa Hastings Magnolia Park fandom and see where that takes me. So I'm excited. So we have this new this new book purchase that's going to go on my bookshelf. And then tomorrow, like I said, is God of War. And then on the 18th, which is next Tuesday, we have Love Unwritten. So I'm super excited to be reading that as well. But that is my reading update. I'm going to continue reading Fragile Enchantment. So I can try to get that done. I'm not going to get that done. I don't know why I'm going to say I'm trying. I'm not going to. There's no way I'm going to get it done today. And then we're going to start God of War tomorrow. So I'm sure you're going to see little snippets of me reading God of War because I thoroughly enjoyed almost every single book that Rita Kent wrote in that like Legacy of Gods universe. So Legacy of Gods is going to be downloaded to my Kindle tomorrow. So excited. And that's going to be Eli and who's the female? I can't remember what her name is. But it's going to be Enemies to Lovers Marriage Romance. Love it. So, all right. Well, that's going to be it. I'm going to get back to work. It is almost 1 o'clock. I have to go pick up my daughter from summer school. And then I got to come home, continue working, and finishing out this day so I can get to reading. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so it's a couple days later. It's Friday. I know I said I was gonna show some clips of me reading God of War, but I honestly have been devouring it and haven't even thought about picking up a camera to record myself reading it until just now. So I'm at 89% in this book. And I have feelings. So this book is very different than the other books, the other Legacy of God series. And that's because this book follows all the characters years later. Like all of the previous books in the Legacy of God series has been when they were in college. And so you get the college atmosphere, you get them going to class, and then the guys were in like two rival like houses, like fraternities, but they were like it was a dark romance. So you know, it wasn't just a normal fraternity, but it was that atmosphere. And the previous books followed the same timeline, so you got kind of the same things that were going on, but you just had different storylines that kind of were going through different things, but it was the same timeline. This is them like in their 20s, so it's, you know, all the characters have already, you know, been together, gotten engaged, gotten married, all that kind of stuff. So it's a very different atmosphere, which I was not expecting, because I figured it was going to follow the previous 5 books, and they were all going to follow the same, like, in the college atmosphere. So this one definitely was way different than what I expected. This one is also very tame when it comes to dark romance. I believe even in the like author's note at the very beginning, she had said this is not as dark as some of the other Legacy of Gods series, but it does follow some, like, you know, there are some darkish type things that happen. But this book follows Eli and Ava. I do know that I did like Eli in the other books, but I honestly just never remembered Ava. And through 80% of this book, I've been enjoying it. Been very, you know, have been having a good time. It's a, like, I don't really want to say a whole lot because I can't remember exactly what's on the synopsis, but it is a kind of enemies to lovers, I guess, marriage of convenience book. And so you kind of get them, like, you see the relationship evolve throughout the book. But there was something that happened in the very beginning, kind of when this whole thing started, that you're missing. Like, as a reader, you're missing a chunk of, like, what is happening that we just don't know. And I just found out what had happened. And it was the reaction that Ava had to finding out this piece of information was she took it strongly. I'll just say that. But Eli was so in this book, you don't really, you see the coldness of Eli, but then you also see how much he cares for Ava. He's so down bad for her, and it's so sweet, but he won't tell her. Like, she doesn't believe it. And so I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But it's definitely, I was not expecting to be emotional. Like, I was getting like the watery eyes when I was reading this just a little bit ago. And I did not expect that from a dark romance. Like, I did not think I was going to be sad in a dark romance. I've not been sad that I remember in any of the other Legacy of God series. And so I wasn't expecting this one. But it's so sweet. He's so sweet. So I'm going to get back. I have, like I said, I'm at 89%. It says I have 1 hour and 7 minutes left in this book. So I'm going to finish this book, hopefully very quickly. And I'll do a little recap and like give you my thoughts. This is definitely, I mean, it's a 4-star or higher. It just really kind of depends on how this ending is going to happen, like what's going to go down. But I'm thinking it's at least a 4.5. That could potentially go up or could go down depending on how the ending happens and what, how Rena Kent writes the ending. But yeah, so I'm thinking God of War with Eli and Ava is probably going to be at least a 4.5, if not higher. So definitely am enjoying it. Can't wait to finish it and see kind of where the story goes and what happens with Eli and what happens with Ava and all of that. I'm really curious to see what the epilogue is going to be as well. Like, now that this is 2 years in advance, like, we're already seeing the friends married and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm curious what the epilogue is going to happen. So, because I'm assuming it's a dark romance and they're going to end up together. If they don't, I don't know what I would do. So, but we're going to get back. We're going to read some more and see what happens with Eli and what happens with Ava and all the suffering. And if Eli is actually going to show his emotion or tell his emotions, like not keep everything so bottled up, because that's been the big thing with Eli, is that he's been very cautious and considerate and doesn't want to overly cause issues with Ava. So he's trying to keep all the stress off of her. And so he's been very cautious on like what he says and how he says it and what he reveals, because he doesn't want to put her in a difficult like mental state. So curious at the end, obviously he's going to say something, but I'm interested to see kind of how that all goes down, like how he actually is going to tell her that he loves her and how she's going to react. So time to finish reading and see where the story takes us.
You got it?
All right, it is Saturday, about lunchtime, and I think this is probably going to be the last wrap up for this video. We've been talking about goals and kind of I wanted to be productive this week. And Monday, Tuesday, I worked out, I did Pilates, and then that was it. I did end up going for a walk today, so there's that. I'm going to count Thursday. So Thursday I had to work on site. My office is on the 2nd floor, so I take the stairs. I don't take the elevator at all. I walked 5,400 steps, and then I ended up, it says that I climbed 5 flights of stairs and walked almost 2.5 miles. So I did do something on Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, workout, Pilates. Wednesday, I didn't really do anything. I was stuck in my office doing a bunch of work, and I didn't go on a walk. I didn't do anything. So Wednesday, fail. Thursday, bunch of walking on site. Friday, fail. Didn't do anything. And then today, Saturday, I did go on a walk. So I'm counting it as a okay week. I'm not the best week, but not the worst week. All good there. But I did end up, book-wise, I finished God of War. This book was way different than what I originally expected a Legacy of Gods book to be, because all the previous books, the other 5 books in the series, all happened kind of at the same timeline. Like they overlapped timelines, and they were all while the characters were at college. And so that was kind of what I expected going into this book. But this book is actually, the timeline is 2 or more years later, like after college. So everyone is out of school. They're all kind of living on their own. Some live in the UK, some live in New York, and they're all kind of, you know, scattered about. Some are going for their masters. So they're doing different things. So this is definitely a different atmosphere than what I originally expected the previous, or what the other books were, the timeline that the other books were in. And then the other thing is, this book is considered a dark romance, but it's not dark at all. This is definitely on the very light, like the spectrum. It's not as dark. It's definitely, I honestly wouldn't really even consider it dark romance. It does have some themes that are kind of on the darker side, but it's really not a dark romance, which I was not expecting. So there, between the atmosphere being different and then this not following like the darker themes, like, you know, God of Malice, that's the first book in the series. Chapter 1 kind of set the tone for some of the books, so that was what I was expecting God of War to be, but it really wasn't. So all that to be said, it was a very different book than what I anticipated. This is a marriage of convenience, kind of a enemies to lovers type book, and I actually enjoyed it. It has a trope that I have never read before, and there are people who don't like this trope, and so I didn't mind it, but I don't know if I read this trope continuously, like if I read a few more books, maybe I might not enjoy it either, because I can see how people might not enjoy reading this trope. It's probably not one of the most favorite tropes in the world, but there is a trope that some people might not enjoy reading. But other than that, I really did enjoy it. I am sad that this will be the last book of the Legacy of God series. Ratings. I, in my previous clip, said that it was definitely going to be a 4-star, if not 4.5. I didn't know if it was going to go higher than 4.5. And after I finished reading it, this is definitely in between a 4.25 and a 4.5. I did like the ending, but as I'm thinking about it, if this wasn't categorized as a dark romance, I think I would probably lean more to a higher rating. But because this is technically kind of supposed to be a dark romance, it really isn't. So it's kind of in the 4.25 to 4.5. I'm going to round up to 4.5 because I did really enjoy reading the book, and I got emotional during the, like, after the 85 to 89% mark. It did get kind of emotional for me because I saw kind of the feelings of Eli and kind of, you know, what happened at the end. It definitely made me emotional. So with that, that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much if you've made it to this spot. If you've made it to the end of the video, let me know down below, have you read any of the books that I read in this video? Have you read God of War? Have you finished Fragile Enchantment? Because I have been also reading this. Now that I'm done with God of War, I am now on page 98, chapter 9 on Fragile Enchantment. So have you read this book? If you have, what were your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And all of that. If you've read any of the Legacy of Gods, which one was your favorite book? Curious, because I definitely have my favorites, but I'm curious what other people will think as well. So if you have not subscribed, please make sure you do. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will be seeing everybody in my next video. Bye.